Better late than never, but here is my February reading recap. I read 2 books in February, one on my Kindle and one physical book, and they were very different in genre and style. So let's just get right into it. I first read, let's see which one came first. This one, my Kindle book. It was an Amazon Prime free read, as you know probably, and it is called American Housewife by Anita Abriel. I read it from January 30th to February 4th. And for an Amazon Prime free read, this was a recent download. It was downloaded on March 30th, 2025. And that's because I'm going in alphabetical order of what I have available. So that's why that is so close. It's an A book. And I gave it 2 out of 5. And I think that's fairly unusual because when I was posting in some various book reading groups on the Bookface that I read this book, and a lot of people did as well, and a lot of people loved it. And that's pretty usual. A book that is well loved, that I'm completely unaware of, that is well loved. I feel meh about it. Let me read you from my laptop because I don't have a fancy Kindle that tells me synopsis. Ralphie here is old. Let me tell you what this book is about. New York City, 1950. Dreams come true for radio personality Maggie Lane when she gets her big break in the exciting new world of television. The Maggie Lane Baking Show is on the air. All she has to do is act like the ideal housewife, create sumptuous desserts, charm the show's sponsors, and sign a morality clause to ensure that her girl next door image remains untarnished. Although newlywed Maggie has never baked so much as a cookie and knows even less about maintaining a home, keeping up appearances is a necessary ingredient for success. Easy. She has a supportive husband, a legion of fans who can't wait to get to know her better and better week after week. That's what she's afraid of. Off-camera cracks are showing in her marriage. An old lover makes an unexpected return, and there are secrets from the past that could ruin everything Maggie has worked for. With every dream on the line, Maggie wonders if she can still have it all when the truth about what it really means to be an American housewife comes to light. I thought it sounded intriguing. But for me, it was full of aggravation, and I was just left frustrated a lot. First, this book came in at 268 pages, and it could have been even less if it wasn't for the redundancy. There was so much rehashing of the same descriptions, the same problems, and I could literally foresee them coming and predict what the dialogue would be. In theater, you do things in threes for a laugh, and after the 3rd time, it's just not funny anymore. The audience expects it. It's kind of that way for me with reading. After 3 times of something being shown to us, I don't want to see it anymore. I already understand this happened. Everything that happened was way more than 3 times. Also, I really did not like the relationship between Maggie and her husband. He infuriated me. And I don't understand the dynamic. I don't understand the love. And I was really hoping for a different outcome. And just everything that happened pre-Maggie Lane Baking Show in Maggie's life, I don't know. It wasn't believable to me. It was unbelievable in a non-entertaining way. But apparently a lot of people do like this book, and I'm in the minority. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm just glad it was free. Now for the second book, the physical book. This is When We Meet Again by Kristen Harmel. and I got this as a used book at the library, and I read it from February 5th to the 23rd, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Now let me read a little bit of the synopsis to you because it's a longer one. Emily Emerson is used to being alone. Her dad ran out on the family when she was just a kid. Her mom died when she was 18, and her beloved grandmother has just passed away as well. But when she's laid off from her reporting job, she finds herself completely at sea, until the day she receives a beautiful, haunting painting of a young woman standing at the edge of a sugarcane field under a violet sky. That woman is recognizable as her grandmother, and the painting arrives with no identification other than a handwritten note saying he never stopped loving her. And this goes on to say that in the back and forth time shifts, we go back to World War II. The World War II part, well, all of this takes place in Florida, and there are cities and towns that I am familiar with, so that was enjoyable. But with the World War II aspect, we have a German prisoner of war camp here in Florida in the sugarcane fields, and all of that ties in then to present day Emily life. Now, just as I said, the stuff in American Housewife that was unbelievable in an unentertaining way, there's a lot in this book that is unbelievable. Not the prejudice, not love trying to conquer all, but just the turn of events, the things that happen back to back just seem unlikely in real life. It's just hard to believe that this happens to Emily, followed by this and this and this. And did it bother me? In the beginning. But once I finished the book, it didn't bother me. Is this book sad? Absolutely. The ending is sad. And I will say it was very well done. And love, in this book, love never dies. And it's so sad when love isn't allowed to exist between people. I will say this also appealed to the genealogy loving side of me, of tracking down family history and things like that. But that also made it unbelievable because these people in modern day, portion of the book were able to travel to Germany and every which way in Florida and Georgia. And that's not everybody's reality, but it was still fun to read about. So, American Housewife, recommendation. When we meet again, I do recommend. If you're not in the mood for a sad read, don't read this. If you're in the mood for a frustrating read, read American Housewife. Okay, that wraps up my February reading, and I hope if you are on a reading journey that you're enjoying what you read. And until next month, happy reading. Bye.